So now we are going to delve into the model of Radha and Krishna for the Golden Age. Now, how many of you have listened to Dr. Pillai teaching about Radha and Krishna, either on the free call or the webcast? How many people here have heard his teachings on Radha and Krishna? Only a few people, okay. How many people have actually already worked with the energy of Radha and Krishna? A few? Okay. So for many people, this will be one of your first experiences of Radha and Krishna. Though I know many of you have heard about them, but we're going to introduce you to the story of Radha and Krishna, explain the symbology, but most importantly, today our goal is for you to have a personal encounter with Radha and Krishna. Because the philosophy will fade away, but the personal encounter will stay with you forever and can totally transform your life. So first of all, for those of you who are not familiar with the story of Radha and Krishna, Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu, and an avatar is actually God when he comes in a human form. So Krishna and Radha lived on the earth plane. And in fact, the place where they grew up together and came to know one another and fall in love is a place in northern India called Vrindavan. It's a very beautiful, enchanted place. In fact, you heard the music that just went off. Vrindavan actually means the pleasure garden. That's the place where Radha and Krishna lived, and they lived there eternally. They're eternally available. Their pleasure is not of a lower kind at all. They embody the highest bliss, ecstasy, and joy of God. So this path, Dr. Pillai has been explaining that this is truly the path which will lead the entire world into the Golden Age. Because as human beings, we need a path that speaks to our material needs, our happiness, our physical comfort, and of course leading to enlightenment, but everything needs to be covered. And Radha and Krishna give us a very beautiful example of a perfect path. And let me just note the elements here. First of all, as I mentioned, they embody the highest bliss, ecstasy, and joy. Now the gentleman here told his story about bliss. Bliss is something which is beyond a human condition of happiness that comes and goes. Bliss is the road to enlightenment. When you have bliss within you, and it vibrates within you day and night, then you become totally transformed. Bliss literally transforms you. It attracts everything to you. It makes you a magnet for opportunities in your life. And most importantly, bliss leads you to enlightenment, because the condition of gods, goddesses, and angels is pure bliss. In fact, in the Siddha tradition, they say that there is only one authentic emotion, and that is joy. All other emotions are not real. So once you experience the bliss of God, you can literally find your way happily into an enlightened state. Now, how do they achieve this bliss, ecstasy, and joy? Through love, music, and dance. And Dr. Pillai himself is very enchanted by how the divine couple of Radha and Krishna bring forth to us the truth that music and dance are the surest pathways to God. In fact, those of you that are familiar with the Tamil Siddha tradition, you may know that the greatest saints of the Tamil tradition, they were all singer poets. They were all singer poets. They sang their way to God, literally. So music and dance has been used since ancient times as a way of uplifting the soul and literally lifting the soul into an exalted state of oneness with God. And this is Radha and Krishna. In Vrindavan, where they live eternally and where they grew up and came to fall in love, Krishna is always playing his flute. And there are many deep meanings and symbologies, which I won't go into all of them because I'm certainly not the expert. But as Krishna plays his flute, he attracts everything to him. People found him absolutely irresistible. And Krishna gives people the power to attract everything. So he plays his flute, and Radha and the gopis, who are the other shepherdesses, they dance. And in fact, it's still believed today that in Vrindavan, that there are places in the forest that in the nighttime, they don't allow people to visit because Radha and Krishna are still dancing and playing the flute every night. So this is a pathway that ultimately leads to material abundance and enlightenment.